been too long since I've vlogged, so I thought I'd do a little dishes with Yolanda today. Oh, chemotherapy seems to get worse each time. My body just doesn't like it. Got the fluorosil bottle off yesterday, and it was so nice having home care come here instead of having to go to the clinic to do it. And purely because the disconnect day fell on a Sunday, which is a stroke of luck for me. I thought I had to live with it an extra day. And, yeah, it's I don't really notice it because I was so incredibly sick. And I'm going to add some light here. I was so incredibly sick before with the cancer that anything that the chemo is doing just seems like an off day. Today's a really off day. I'm so groggy and so logy, and I don't know if I overslept or underslept or I'm not eating right or it's just the chemo doing it. I really don't know. So I found I'm craving protein, so I ate a bit extra protein. That helped perk me up, so I'll do some more of that later. But I'm trying not to get fat again. I mean, I was so fat, and I don't want to get fat again. And let me tell you, I'm not getting any support from any of the doctors. They're all, well, you know, you just might hit a point where you lose your appetite. You need all that extra fat, so you should go ahead and get as fat as your body wants to get. And I'm like, you know, at what point do you say, oh, yes, you're too fat. Now you got to lose weight. Well, at that point, my dears, it looks to me like it's already an overwhelming chore to try and get that weight back off. I don't want to go there. I'm not interested. I don't want to take it. I don't want to wait until it's hard to lose the weight. So I'm trying to cut back on my food, which might be part of why I'm tired. I don't know. I'm trying to eat nutritious food. But then it's so bitterly cold I can't go out. So I can't go to the store and pick up more stuff. I'm on berries and, you know, my husband, he's going to go pick up some things, but I'd have to send him a whole grocery list. I should do that. I should send him a whole grocery list. I'd love to have some more berries around the house. And I could use a little more spinach salad. Yeah, I should, actually. He won't go till afterwards, so I don't need to do that right away. I haven't been working on my coat since last weekend. Did I do it last? Yeah, I worked on it last week. I was going to work on it a bit today, but I'm feeling too stupid, and it's a complicated little bit where I have to sew the sleeves on. I have to gather them in just the right amount of gather to get just the right curve to fit the main body of the coat, and I'm a little intimidated. It's not like I have a dress form to hold everything up. Well, I thought I could possibly put a couple of long, skinny pillows on a hanger so that they drape down and make shoulders, and then put the coat on that. So I've had some ideas. But our 3D printer's on the fritz again. Oh, we've had so much challenge with that. This time, I made the mistake of actually trying to upgrade something or add a plug-in to the Octoprint, and bam, I broke it. And it's getting a little annoying. You can't upgrade it, you can't add plugins, you can't do anything without the damn thing breaking. And I don't know why it keeps breaking. And the last time, I just reflashed the card and started over with a fresh install. And we hit the upgrade button. It says, oh, you could upgrade your Octoprint on. Oh, okay, you know, click, end of Octoprint, reflash again. So this time I'm like, oh, I'd like to have that GPX plugin that lets it talk to my MakerBot. Wouldn't that be useful? Let's see if it works. So I installed the plugin, rebooted it, and it was gone. And so I've got the Octoprint computer. It's a Raspberry Pi. It's very small. I mean, these things are tiny. This is how big the Raspberry Pi computer actually is. It's that tiny. We 3D print the housing here with our MakerBot, and then you can see it's just, that's a whole computer. I mean, that is better. That's the equivalent of one of your Pentiums from the turn of the century. I mean, seriously, or better. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the numbers. I just know it's got Bluetooth, it's got Wi-Fi, it runs a stripped-down Linux, and depending on what you want, there's a billions of things you could do. We've got two of them. One has a card in it that allows it to be a home theater managing thing. It streams, you know, it's like a Roku, but not quite as good. And since I have a Roku, I don't actually use it, but I'm playing with it. I want to see what else they can do. You just need a memory card and install an operating system for whatever specific task you want it to do, whether that's to be a print server for your 3D printer or a home theater streaming device, or I can't wait to find out what else. Well, like I said, I'm too stupid right now to do stuff like that. You know, genius isn't a reliable 24/7 thing. It requires all the right things to be in the right places. This is why geniuses can be so eccentric, because in order to access that part of their brain, they may need to have an extremely low-stress environment. They may have nutritional issues they have to deal with. There are days when you just can't do it, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I thought you were so smart." It's like, well, you know, not all the time. Are you always your smartest all the time? Sometimes you're smart, sometimes you're stupid, and when the world wants to demand smart when you're having a stupid day, then you're a fail, right? School was like that. You'd be required to be smart every day in order to maintain your grades, in order to maintain, and, you know, I didn't. I had so many stresses in school, not the least of which was the bullying. So, I mean, I just pulled C's most of the time. If I passed and got to go to the next grade, I figured that was good enough, because who really gave a damn what my marks were? I was a girl, and nobody thought I was good for anything except babies and housekeeping and waitressing. That was the world as presented to me. You can be a pretty little ornament somewhere. You could be a service drone, or you could be a breeding farm, and that was what women did, and that's all we got to do, and that was all that was presented to me. So I didn't really see the point in caring about my future, in caring about marks, in working hard to get good marks in school. What for? It's not like I was going to go to university. In the end, I did. But it was made very clear to me that nobody was going to spend the money on me to educate me, because, you know, I'm a girl. What girls do? Girls can't do anything. Anyways, everything I was interested in was boy stuff, for heaven's sakes. I wanted to be a mechanic. Yeah, right. Get your hands dirty. You're too pretty to do that. I heard that so many times. You're too pretty. You're too small. You're too delicate. You're too weak. You're too emotional. All kinds of things that I know now I could have done and done well. And in fact, have become a less weak, emotional, delicate creature without losing any of the pretty. Because frankly, the pretty is not worth anything. I still don't really understand why being pretty had to be more important than being happy. What was that all about? Why was my looks, which, I'm sorry, but I mean now, you know, I'm old, right? We don't see it now, but even then, I was just on the other side of plain. I mean, I wasn't homely. I wasn't on the homely side. I was on the comely side of plain, but I was plain. And even when I dressed myself up, I still looked like just an ordinary girl, really. I wasn't that pretty. I just wasn't ugly, that's all. What was all the big deal about how pretty I was? You know, you got to get your teeth straightened, you'd be so much prettier. Oh, you should do your hair this way, you'd be so much prettier. Oh, if you painted your face that way, you'd be so much prettier. Oh, the prettier you are, the better it is. What is that pretty for? So I can be a whore? What? You going to stick me on a stage and pay me tons and tons of money to prance around? Nobody did that. Seriously, girls, skip all that pretty stuff. I mean, yeah, it's nice that people open the door for you and smile at you and that people are nicer to you. I gotta say that. The prettier you are, the nicer people are to you. But that's as far as it goes. All of the men that hit on you when you're pretty are false. Yes, dear, they're looking at your looks. They don't know you. They don't want to know you. They want to tell you who to be, and they want you to look pretty. So they're hitting on you because you're pretty, not because of who you are. So again, it's liability. Whoa, and there goes the computer. See, you're just sitting on a Surface Pro. I still haven't chosen or figured out a good camera solution. And now it's gotten worse and worse. That'll do. You don't really care. Oh, I just filled my glove with hot soapy water. So this means I have to go barehanded. The water's not that hot. What I can't take is cold right now. Oh my goodness. It's like pins. It's like if I touch something cold, it's not too bad today. It's worse when I just come back from chemo and I've got the bottle of fluorosil and I've got all those chemistry run around. Then just touching something, even touching something room temperature can be like someone shoved a pin into my fingers. Like right in. Oh. And I go, pin, ow, and I'm playing, and someone says, you should be wearing gloves, and I'm like, yeah, but it's my orange, and I'm slicing it, and I'll get orange juice all over the glove, and I'll get glove debris all over the orange, and you know, I don't want to peel an egg with gloves on, and this kind of thing, so it's a little annoying. I'm so lucky to be married at this time, you know. if I was single and I couldn't say, Dan, please finish cutting my orange for me, I would be a little worse off. I think I would have died if I was single, because there just wouldn't have been anybody there for me, as far as I can tell. Or maybe I'd have had a boyfriend who'd have put in some effort to come and look after me, but it wouldn't have been like it is having someone who lives here that was coming by, and making time out of his day to make sure he came home to check on me and to bring me food, and because I was laying on the couch, right? See, that's the other thing about being groggy today. I also feel like I'm on the verge of emotion all day. Since the surgery, I've been so strong in my emotions that it's annoying to feel weak again, to feel weepy. And it's not PMS, because that's gone, that's over. So the easy answer is, it's the medicine. But that's an answer I can't control. That is an answer I can't work on. An answer like, you need more oranges, or you need to eat more vegetables. That's an answer I can control. And it has been like 3 or 4 days since I had any greens, so I'm willing to bet that's it. I should definitely ask Dan to pick up some spinach greens. I like those box spinaches because they're really easy. You just grab a handful, but you got to watch for rot pockets, and that's annoying. That's the one annoying thing about those packaged leaves of greens, is the rot pockets. And sometimes they're there when you buy it. Other times it takes them a couple of days to show up. But if you find just a little bit of rot, it ruins all the leaves around it. You got to pick it out like a whole little chunk. I call them rot pockets because it makes me think of an old 90s commercial for a product called Hot Pockets, and they go ba-da-ba-ba-ba Hot Pockets. Instead I go ba-da-ba-ba-ba Rot Pockets. We use them to feed the birds their greens, these guys. We always have a bit of the assorted ones in there for them, but I like the spinach because it's high in iron, and I'm supposed to get iron. You see, there's this one brand, Organic Girl, that I thought, that's really nice, organic, and it's the same price as the rest, and I found they had less rot in them, so I was pleased about that. But then I started noticing most of the spinach wasn't spinach. I don't know what it was, some fuzzy leaf tooth-edged thing that may or may not have been a weed, or maybe it was young endive. I don't think it was young endive. I have no idea what the heck that plant was. But the first one I got with some of it in, it was like about, maybe 5 or 10% of the leaves. It was a little annoying picking them out. The next one I bought, majority of the leaves. I mean, almost all, whatever this other plant that isn't spinach was. I know the difference between spinach and other plants. Spinach has shiny, thick, moist leaves. They're very tough, and they're very green. This was thin leaves with a bit of fuzzy to them and toothed edges and a much paler green. And I think they were, they tasted like baby bok choy. So why were they selling me baby bok choy instead of spinach? So I'm not going to buy the Organic Girl again, because that's just rude. If I'm buying spinach, I don't want bok choy, right? I mean, if I want bok choy, I'll buy bok choy. So yeah, I know this is a boring babble. It is. I just felt obligated to come on here and talk to you. And it's kind of stupid because, I had zero activity on the last vlog one. I wanted to give a thing away, and nobody ever even saw it. So, on the one hand, not having anybody watch gives me a sense of freedom. Like, who cares what I do or how I do it? I just go ahead and do it. And there's a sense, too, in my mind that if I just keep doing it in a few months or a year, I'll get discovered by some people who like me and want to watch me, and it'll pick up. Or I'll just be talking to my vlog, and 10 years from now, I'll look back at these and I'll get my own personal benefit from it. And there is that. There will be a personal benefit. I'll look and go, God, I was so young, or God, I was so sick, or man, look at how healthy I was, or look at how fat I was, or look at how skinny I was, or look at all my hair that I lost, or whatever is going to be different about me then. Or look, there's my old house that I used to live in. I have no idea. I was thinking about quality of life lately. I've been worrying because, I've still got spots in my lungs. And if my lungs have lung cancer, it could be debilitating. You could say that all of the surgery and stuff I had was debilitating, but actually it gave me back my energy, so I would call it debilitating. But if you're breathing with only if you're breathing with only 75% of your lungs, it's going to slow you down a lot. And it's the worst that could possibly happen besides dying, which is not the worst. Debility is worse than dying. The worst that could happen with these lungs is that they have to actually crack open my chest and chop out significant chunks of lung. And if the chunk is too significant, then I'm stuck on an oxygen bottle and I need home care or I need to be in a care home, which, believe me, is a difficult thing to find even when you need one. There's more and more people that need care homes than there are care homes for them. And in those care homes, there's only a few that are even worth being in. The rest are where they stick you when you can't stay at home. They're better than nothing. But they're not very good. So I've been all worried about that, wishing we could do a scan or find out what's going on with those spots in my lungs and will I have a future. And I've been shopping for buses, looking on the website to see what they're at. And the price differences between the different bus options, you see them anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000, and you just kind of wonder, like, what's the $50,000 guy got that's worth $50,000 for a used school bus? Why? Is it that new? Is it in that much better shape? Or does he just think it's worth that? And most of the time those guys are at dealerships, so I think what you're dealing with there is a case where they have to make their cut to make it worth carrying the bus and storing it and repairing it and whatever they're doing. But I sure am not spending that kind of money on a bus. How would I? Where would I get that money? The dishes are done. Why don't I show you Piper, and why don't I share with you Piper and Timmy? Timmy, okay, where's Piper? There's Piper. This is Piper. Piper's an affable sort of gal. She's I call her my pet monster because when she first arrived here, we were really, really afraid of her. She was so big and hyper and strange, and she's got them glowering eyebrows, and we were all, oh my goodness, this husky dog is so scary. She's going to eat our little tiny animal, and she's going to attack our rabbit, she's going to attack our bird, and she hasn't done anything wrong the whole time she's been here. She's just been a good girl, she has. And that's not entirely on her. I've been keeping her busy. I've been walking her and playing with her. Dan's been walking her and playing her there, and we've been buying her treats and doing stuff. This little tiny Tim here. Let's see if we can get a good shot of him. Oh, he's using the treadmill as a window seat. He's such a beauty, isn't he? I just love this little dog so much. He hasn't been eaten by the big dog yet, but he still thinks he will be. We have to keep them apart because he's still very aggressive, and she actually bit him to bleeding. This here's Sambird. Sambird. He was making a ton of noise today. I don't know why. He might be out of food. Hey, Sam? What do you think? Say hi to the vlog? Yeah. Toby's downstairs being a grumpy bunny. You can't pet him without getting growled at. He's really quite a useless little rabbit, but at the age of 13, he's earned the right to be whatever kind of little rabbit he wants to be. Useless or otherwise. And, live his life out until his life is lived. So, see you next time.